Hi, welcome back to another video. This is Forever Ashley. Okay, so this video is essentially a part 2 of the last video I made. So if you didn't watch that video, go ahead and watch it. You can probably go ahead and watch this one first, and then go back and watch it, but I just highly recommend you still watch that video as well. Okay, so this video is going to be talking about why having faith is so important in the first place. Like, why is it so essential that you have such a strong, crazy amount of faith? And that statement may not even mean nothing to you. Like, okay, that statement may not mean nothing to you, but stick with me because I'm going to explain why having faith is so important. Okay, so faith, first of all, first things first, faith is literally the standard. The standard. It is the foundation. It is so essential into bringing your manifestation, your vision into your current reality. If you want a job, $1 million, a boyfriend, girlfriend, a wife, or a husband, but you don't really believe that you're gonna get it, how do you expect it to even come to you? Like, that don't even make sense. But when you have faith, when you know that you are going to get it, eventually, you may not see how you're gonna get it. You may not currently see stuff going on in your life for you to get it, but you know at the end of the day, one way or another, you're gonna get it one day. That's what having faith is, and that is so essential into getting any and everything you want that is in alignment for your highest good. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, faith is so important so you don't self-sabotage, so you don't block your blessings. And what I mean when I say that is, what a lot of us do is we pray for something, and then right after we pray for it, we good for an hour or so, but then that next hour, we start worrying about what we just prayed for. And I hate to say this, but when you really start like worrying about something you just prayed for, you essentially kind of canceled out your prayer. Like, that's my personal opinion. The prayer still stands, but you made that gap into you actually getting what you prayed for. You made it that much bigger, because what we do, we start worrying and we start being in the way of God's work. And the energy you putting off so let's say you pray about something and then you start worrying about it. So let's say I'm praying about a job and now I'm like worrying, how I'm gonna pay this bill, how I'm gonna pay that bill, let me go hustle, let me go do this, do that. And that is a whole lot to unpack in itself. But if I were to start doing that, I literally just got in the middle of whatever miracle God is trying to work in my life. I'm putting off the energy that I don't trust God to handle it. So I'm trying to go handle it myself. Like, do you see how that sounds? That it just does not work. So what I just did was self-sabotage my own blessings. You place a barrier in between you and God instead of moving out your own way and allowing God to have that space to work through you, to work for you. Okay? So, but by you having faith, you prayed for it. Now that's it. Now you're surrendering, you living your everyday life, you discerning what your next step is from what God is telling you versus what your own mind is telling you or other people. You know you doing right. Now that's what I call faith. And that is what faith is. Like, I'm not about to stress, I'm not about to worry, because I already prayed about it. I've already gave it to God. So what I gotta do, I just gotta sit back and let it come to me, however way that looks, because we all have a different relationship with God. So how God speaks to me may be different from how God speaks to you, but that's why you have to be able to discern and have that faith. So when God does speak to you and tell you what next move to make or what to do next or whatever, you know what that looks like for you, and you're that much closer to getting exactly what you asked for because you have that faith. You created that space for him to now work in you, through you, and for you. Something else that should give you a sense of comfort is knowing that God is not a man. He is not a man, therefore he does not lie. Men lie, God don't. And you can find that in Numbers 23, verse 19. It says, God is not human that he should lie, not a human being that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? When I first heard that, that gave me so much like sense of peace, because if God said he gonna do something, he gonna do something. He's not a man. He doesn't operate on man-made time. He operates outside of that. He transcends time. That's why I love the phrase divine timing, because everything that has happened in my life has been on divine timing. It may not come when I want it, but I know it's gonna come right on time, and that's his time, because he knows what's best for me. Like our human minds can only think to a certain level. Like even if your human mind is thinking of just some big old luxury, whatever, I don't know, I feel like God will still have a higher plan than that for you. Something that you can't even imagine, because our human minds can only think to a certain level. So if God tells you he's going to do something, he's going to do it. That's why you need to have faith and build up on your relationship with God, so that you're not running around here worrying and stressing and doing all that. Because when you have that close relationship, when you gain a closer relationship and actually make that effort, he's going to reveal himself. He's going to reveal his purpose for you, his plans for you. He is going to reveal it. But guess what? It's up to you to trust. It's up to you to have faith in knowing that. So when you truly understand the essence on divine timing, everything just starts unfolding beautifully. And you do not have to be perfect. That's the thing. Like if you slip up a day and just kind of worried, like it's up to you to talk to him, to express your weaknesses, so that if you are feeling weak, if you are just feeling real anxious, go to him. Go to him so that he can help you and he can ease your mind, ease your heart. Like you have to go to him and confess what you're feeling, how you're feeling, so that way he can ease your mind. Okay, so getting back on track. Like I said, divine timing is everything. We want things done on our time, our way, but at the end of the day, our higher selves, God, know what's best for us. Okay, so we have to kind of trust that, put our ego in the back seat, sit in the passenger seat, and let God take the driver's seat. And that's where I messed up for the past year. I've been in the driver's seat. I've just been trying to be so independent, so this and that, until God literally came into my home. That's a story for another day. And was just like, and literally, because I always had a plan B for everything. I always had a plan B and a plan C. There was one point in time, I ain't had no plan B or no plan C. It was like I kept running into obstacle. And God literally revealed to me and was like, just call on me. Like you doing everything but calling on me. You doing everything but asking me to help you. And I finally did. I dove deep into his word. And the miracles that came after that, woo, like I get so overwhelmed thinking about it, because he showed me like the stuff that he did. And I don't even know if I said this in my last video, so excuse me if I already said this, but the stuff that he did was showing me that this was all him. This was not nobody else. this was him in result of my faith in him. And that's the thing. So we want stuff done in our time, but we only know why something happened the way it did at the time it did. We don't know that in the moment. We only know that when we finally get to our destination, and then in hindsight we see why it happened exactly the way it needed to happen. And we see why certain things didn't work out. Like, we never see that. Usually, for the most part, we never see that in the moment. We only see that looking back. Sometimes you be saying like, thank you so much, dear Lord, I did not get that job. Like, oh my gosh, I was stressing about getting it, but now I see why you didn't let me get it. Thank you I did not get pregnant by that man. I thought I loved him. I was trying to have his babies. Thank you for not allowing me to get pregnant by that man, because we're not even together no more. He was toxic, blah blah blah. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's true stories that people experience every single day. They pray for something, or they want something, or they try to make it work because that's what they want, instead of putting their ego in the back seat and just asking God, what is your purpose for me? What is your plan for me? So I say all that to say, working on your faith, strengthening your faith is so very important. It's just so important. And the sooner you realize that, is the sooner miracles and blessings are going to start overflowing into your life. Have faith. Do not do all this worrying. Matthew chapter 6 verse 34 says, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Like, the Bible is literally a life manual. You just have to know. You have to know how to kind of translate certain things, because all these stories in the Bible, and Jesus turning water into wine, him walking, like him healing a blind man, all of these stories are metaphors for the miracles God is able to work in our own lives. Like, these stories is not just stories put in for us to read about and not have a same miracle work in our life. But guess what? In order for that miracle to work or to even happen, what do you have to have? Exactly, faith. So that is why faith is so important. I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, ask down below. If you need any clarification on a few things, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer. And it's kind of like, I wouldn't say weird, but I have to kind of talk in a general sweet spot, because everybody's situation is different. Like, somebody could be watching this and they have crazy faith, but they just needed to hear one thing in this video that's gonna take their crazy faith to a next level. But then there's other people here who have crazy depression, anxiety, and they need more than just a 10 to 15 minute video, you know? So what I try to say stuff where it helps on a general note. So that's why I really say, like, if you have any questions or whatever, comments, concerns, just talk to me, comment, and I will definitely try to help you to the best of my ability. All right. And before I let you go, I'm going to share one last Bible verse with you. And this one is Matthew chapter 6, verse 27. And it says, can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? I'm just a messenger. That's in the Bible. Matthew chapter 6, 27. Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? Can you? Just ask yourself that question. Just ponder on that, meditate on that, journal on that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see y'all in the next video.